Welcome to the first Conference of Natural Resources and Development. The expositions of November 27.
As the temperature is rising, the glaciers are melting, and also the snowmelt processes are completely changing due to these precipitation shifts and temperature rises. The southern catchments of Chile, they are all glacier, and they have a large portion of glaciers and rock glaciers. So we have here analyzed the runoff coefficients of each hydrological year since 1960. Well, you could guess that the runoff coefficients are especially responding to snowmelt coming from mainly groundwater sources. This irritates a bit. It looks like very water abundant. But
the hydrology in the area is very easy. There's nearly no rainfall. That makes this part easy. But we have very big glaciers in the mountain area. Another problem is the degradation of the soils, as you can see it here in this picture, that there are very big salt crusts on the surface. And the problem is that this Tugai forest is dying, especially in the lower reaches. And so when you go to this area, some parts look like in this image, this is destroyed. And this is a very big problem because the Tugai forest has a very big ecosystem service. We try to analyze the ecosystem service and functions of the overall systems.
Actually, the Limuru Basin is the most regulated basin of Chile. It's built on open software, so it's accessible for every user. Make interactive labs. You see all the stations you put. Something to use for students, for researchers. Actually, it's developed by the University of Vienna, and they have a modeling system
of this semi-distributed model. We started to work with the associations to look for the information. We created micro allocation criteria, and in the red line, the real data of volume, the storage volume in the reservoir, and you will see that it's lower than the simulated storage volume. It shows that they use and that they allocate more water than the model, and it affects also the probability of excellence, then the security of irrigation.
We are currently developing a mine basin model to model the water allocation, water distribution in this area. It was quite a big adventure to install this climate stage channel to see exactly where the water is going, when there's how much water flowing through the channels onto their computer, and they can manage their in a more real-time data in a more efficient way of the Otao River. So this is the whole basin. You see here the Otao catchment, which is this one. We have the Recoleta Reservoir, Paul was talking about, and then we have the irrigation channels from the Recoleta Reservoir. And
I is equal to plus 1 if xj is greater than x. Here is spatial distribution. Promotes positive trends. The big urban area, the climate change effect is biggest than the rural area. There is not a reason to accuse that the environment part in rural state.
First of it is the Chilean framework, which is quite different to other countries. Explain a bit that we have a water code, which was changed in 81. You have points are right. You will have it forever if you don't want to trade it. So one question is, how will the system react to different management decisions? And after I will show you how this is distributed. So, the final idea is to hopefully help them to get a new operational rules.
as possible as descriptions of possible future developments, and they're a really good tool for future research planning and for providing. But it can be said that the future will be warmer and drier, rising temperatures, more hot days, and a reduction of the average total rainfall events. The result was that in both scenarios the water demand will be less than nowadays. The demand is also mainly influencing the future water balance, and the stakeholders decided to put the focus more on 4 of them, and we developed further scoping studies for these 4 adaptation measures, which are here highlighted in red. We really can say that there was a systematic involvement of the stakeholders in all of the working steps.
The policymaker will look at whenever they look for policy implementation for seasonal statistics. So what we have done, we have taken the indicators of hydrology moderation. These are the indices to look at, that will look at also the part of ecology, so that is more sensible as a hydrologist. The calibration of a model is the simplest thing for a modeler, but for me, I try to look at if a model performs really well for a raw data, does it really perform equally well for the derived indices? Because we will assess the policy based on the indices, but not for the raw data. So
in Europe, with bushes and shrubs, and then we had grass and bush vegetation. We had the plantation area, agriculture use apart from plantations, develop a framework for different models, and you can, according to your question and your data availability, you can build your own model to do like a series of the catchment and the water availability in the ground to see where do we have water for plant growth. But like I already said, like the calculation of the water demand showed that the water need is increasing in this area, and that the spatial distribution gives valuable information about water resource distribution.
More or less in the southern part of Indonesia, in the mainland of Indonesia, the main islands of Indonesia, the Java Islands, that we have a problem of drought in the coming future. Every years we have a decreasing of groundwater. We are very much dependent on groundwater resources. Eastern part is have a different condition. So it means it should have a different hydrological condition too. All nation unlimited water resources, and Yogyakarta now is growing as a big cities with modern landscape parameters from water demand and from water balance. I mean, with the climatic hydroclimatic.
Present some preliminary results of my research. The biodiversity conservation is located in a context of a humanized world. Isolate a parcel of land to protect it from humans, accompanied by the dilemma between conservation and development. The idea of integrating conservation and development in the surrounding of protected area has emerged in the conservation movement since the 60s and has been reinforced by the idea of sustainable development since the 80s. Protected area, and the links show mainly weak links between the conservation agency and community organization.
Jordan people or the people in the area, they managed to survive in the drought and in the hard environment using many techniques. With 6.5 million people living in Jordan, around 2.5 million refugees and guests, with total per capita supply less than 150 cubic meter per year, Jordan, something like 50 millimeter per year, can come in 1 or 2 separated events. This for sure affected the food production of Jordan, affected the energy. You can see here the study area, which is located north of the capital of Jordan, Amman. Rainfall measurements and modeling for the future and forecasting. You can see that the average daily rain in the wet season is around 1.5 millimeter soil physical parameters were studied to judge where is the places we have a good recharge to the groundwater, and it was found that groundwater 2050, which is the thing that can be precise. After 2050, I think the results will be changed because no one can guess what climatic scenario that we will have. So we do care about the coming 50 years.
Happened river flooding, heavy river flooding, and flooding associated with the bad soil conditions. Rainfall event, but the short rainfall event, the little stream is a modulation, and this is with 70 millimeters. Then it's very, very high with the maximal flooded modulation. And in red, for example, is used for housing, for hospital, college.
In the future, for sure, it will be even worse when we are facing with the climate change. One of the issues of the climate change, of course, are sea level rise problem. But see the development of the coastal area in the neighboring area, which is where takes too much the development of the harbor. There was still a connection between the villages and the mainland. It means they have the experiences for more than 20 years. During these experiences, they coping with this disaster. They try to have the coping mechanism. We have different treatment to that based on the culture of the society. The people in Aceh completely different with the people in Yogyakarta.
Yes, I'm working with some people in Edinburgh, basically. I've been to Kew as well, but Edinburgh is like my partner institution. But yeah, I would love to go to Rio's Botanic Garden. I think it's wonderful and I love the work they're doing there. But yes, I think that it's possible to build a big Latin American network of botanical artists, and that's one of my aims as well.
Units regarding knowledge on integrated water resources management, of course something that comes from different disciplines, and what we want to do is really to take advantage of the knowledge, the huge amount of knowledge that is existing in all these different universities, and that each university contributes with the knowledge, at the same time can benefit from all the collective knowledge, ensuring quality and continuous improvement. And then we have the virtual center, that is a web-based platform that provides water resources management, integrated water resources management. Existing master courses, this is our main objective, to support the different master courses of all. Here, another format that we developed is the joint student projects, where we will, each learning unit more or less has a, let's say, workload of 20 to 40 hours. That is then the group of students typically, or an individual student, is doing the problem analysis, developing solutions, and then documenting in this process how to do teamwork, how to work efficiently with information. Let's say typical case studies where certain syndromes are existing, and the data and make it available via the web. Of course, we also have to improve our performance, let's say, in this new kind of media and education, also extend our network, so to ask other universities who have a certain expertise in a specific field to join with their expertise and then offer.
This project still is in a, I would say, in a non-professional looking. The ability of programming. We need expertise from the field of the direction. We have to go to the field and to take the sample, to take this system and put it there in the that we have to fill in order to identify the sample. So the first thing that we have to do is to weight the soil, but we need to balance the scape. The procedure, but the idea was to reproduce as much as possible, as I said before, all the steps that the student should do in the real situation, but the advantage of this is that they can do it whenever they want and repeat it many times, and finally get some idea of what should be done in the real situation.
Scale in Indonesia, for example, just to give the assessment why we are eager as a partner to join for this development such model. The first corner is the flooding without rain. It means this flood coming from the ocean, from the tidal flood. And we lost about 100 meters, the coastline changed to the land. But in the 2005, we lost almost all that land. So it means that the entire of this island area was land. It's one of the example of the joint research and education program.
Semi-structured interviews in both of the cities with decision makers, with people from universities, with practitioners, and all of that was students of geography, urban planning, spatial planning, architecture, and all kinds of engineering. You can see it's a balanced situation. This city is facing a lot of urban growth, lack of infrastructure, city growing, as I said, there's lots of marginal settlements, they're facing lots of problems due to flooding, other disasters, so it's a pretty disaster-prone area as well. A lot of people are living in this kind of situation. And I mean, if we see the picture alone, only this picture, we can already notice there's a high need to act like international architecture, having an international town and not the traditional one anymore. What do you want to your city to look like in the future? Which paradigms should your cities follow it? Look where Kathmandu students place the climate change issue for their town. It's least. Compact city is not of that much importance for them. Neither is climate change and neither is squatting. The international urban challenges debate is not the local perception of the students. How to convey the knowledge and how to make students also believe in the importance of those topics.
And in my opinion, there should be some documentation for multicultural environment involving, these are the dimensions. There is power distance, there is individualism, and there is masculinity. It's an application that helps you analyze and compare different cultures around the world. You can compare typical cultural values of 98 countries. And this is one example. I took all the countries that in CNRD except 3 countries that Hofstede did not mention. The different studying styles, 2 cultural dimensions of Mr. Hofstede in a very beautiful matrix. The teacher asked, why did he go outside Egyptian races? And we said, because the signal is better outside. Leaders of universities, you find every university has a different name for the leader.
So first of all, this DAAD thematic network, we know the relation, sometimes we don't know their relevance and importance. For example, just 2 weeks ago I heard different fields that contribute, of course, to this water, food, energy nexus. Some of them we have different partners, and I have to say TUM is in Lausanne and Technical University of Eindhoven, and this gives us the possibility to create a doctoral program because these universities share common programs. We will feed this model which covers the whole Nile River with scenarios.
The expositions of November 27. Welcome to the first Conference of Natural Resources and Development.